Today I'm going to be talking to you about an adjective clause lesson plan. And so for the sake of context, where I will be teaching and where this lesson plan was designed for is for 14 and 15-year-old Hungarian EFL students that are in the low to mid intermediate level range. And what's interesting about Hungary is that they actually, if they're in a bilingual program like where I'll be teaching, they have a 5-year program, and so they have something called the 0 year, in which it's an English intensive year. And then the following 4 years they take courses such as history and science in English. And so it's a really cool program, and so it's kind of a unique context, so I wanted to make sure that that was clarified before we get started. And so something for you to know also in the name of context is that this lesson plan is following previous lessons on pronouns and adjectives, and that's important because those two topics will be incorporated throughout the lesson. And so my objectives, first, students will be able to correctly use that and who as subject-related relative pronouns, and second, that they will be able to use that and who to create more complex sentences from simpler sentences containing adjective clauses. And so there are quite a few things that you need. I created an adjective clause worksheet, which I'll show you later. And then for the activity that we'll do at the end, you need a slideshow. Otherwise, you can hold up pictures. Either way works, depending on technology. And slips of paper with simple descriptive sentences. And so for the warm-up, I really love spidergrams because it's a way to just get all of the knowledge and information onto the board. And so students, as students are walking in, I plan to have adjective as a word just circled, and then I plan on giving it an example, such as adjectives modify nouns. And then I will ask students to participate in a class and give different examples and descriptions of what adjectives are. And as that's kind of dwindling down, I wanted to prompt further learning by asking 2 questions. First, is an adjective one word or multiple words? And second, do adjectives come before or after nouns? And so then what we're going to do is we're actually going to look at 2 simpler sentences, and they have to fill in each of these blanks with an adjective. Okay? And so then after that, getting ahead of myself a little bit. And so after that, what we'll do is we'll try and combine the sentences. And so I would refer back to the questions asked at the end of the warm-up and explain that adjectives are not just 1 or 2 words that come before a noun. Adjectives can be whole sentences that describe a noun or a pronoun. And so then what I would do is I would underline this sentence because it is the adjective clause, it is the sentence that is modifying the noun. And so after that, I would state that the goal for class today is to combine the 2 simpler sentences into 1 complex sentence. And so to do that, I would ask students to find the subject of the second sentence and circle it. And you'll notice that I made sure that all of the subjects of the second sentence are pronouns, and that's circling back to the information already learned about pronouns, because pronouns in the Hungarian language don't mesh well. And so it was really important, and it's also important to distinguish between human and non-human pronouns as well. And so after they identified that, then what I would do is they identified it by circling. After that, what I would do is I would work with them to combine the sentence. But before we combine the sentence, I would explain that when we are talking about the same person, place, or thing as the subject of the 2 smaller sentences, we can combine them. And so there are 2 important words that we will often use as substitutes when the same person, place, or thing is